Morning guys, so we're back at Carney's cottage where we normally come most of the times when we come over to Ireland. This is one of our favourite overnight stop places. We pulled up last night with Loretta's uncle and they had their van up here. It's only 3 vans here last night and we had a really nice quiet sleep last night, so it's quite good. So what I'll do is I'll show you a bit around the area because we're going to do a cycle ride today up to Dunton Gap, isn't it?
Gap of Dunloe.
I'm always getting these things wrong. The Gap of Dunloe. I'll probably show you on the map all these bits, and I'll put it on my blog as much as I can. So we're going to cycle up there today. Kate's cottage. Kate's is not doing food at the moment because they were closed because of COVID, but they're doing some beers served at the hatch. I'll show you that. There's another cafe opposite as well. There's another restaurant further down the road, and it's got public toilets, so it's a great little stop because you've got good facilities around here. So what I'll do is I'll grab the camera. I'll walk around and show you all these bits, and then we'll go on our cycle ride and show you bits of the cycle route. Right guys, so there's the public toilets. It's quite a big car park, and during the April when we come up this is quite empty. This time of year it's quite popular. You can see the 3 vans there at the moment with ours in the middle. Nice little cafe over here which we haven't been in before. We might pop in there and get some breakfast after we've done our cycle ride. So this is Kate Carney's cottage. Normally they have live entertainment here. It's a really good night out and good meal, but they've been not doing it lately because of COVID. The Hungry Donkey there is another little outlet they're doing food from at the moment, and sometimes Kate's will do takeaway. There's also horses and carts down there that you can get up to, I believe, the bridge area. And so further down the road you see back there is another restaurant as well, which we've not been to ourselves, but you can get up here quite easy with the vans. It's not that too bad a road. There's quite a few passing spots as you come along. Yeah, and it's one, probably, like I say, it's one of our favourite stops because of what you've got here and the restaurant as well. But we're going to head off now. I'll grab the bikes and head off up to... Right guys, so far the cycle route's been quite good. This time of year it is quite busy. You can see cars behind me coming through. I'll do this in a minute to talk because there's cars coming both ways. You are advised on all the websites and signs down there that this is not a good road to bring cars up, but loads of people still think that we drive up this road anyway, because you do have the horses as well coming up this road, and as you'll see behind me now, they're all getting stuck because they brought the cars down here, and it happens quite a lot, and there's a few more coming up. It's not the best road to be bringing a car up, and it does say it on the websites, but look at the views, lovely views behind us, and views this way as well. And if you get up to this bit, which is not far, there's a coffee place as well. So we walked this yesterday and it only took us about 10-15 minutes walk from Kate's further down, so it's a nice little walk as well. So anyway, we're going to get going to try and get this route done today. Alright guys, so this is about halfway, quite flat all the way up until this point, and it's been a really nice cycle route. Lovely lake down there. And if we was watching King in it now, if you don't know these guys, Google it, YouTube it, they'll be in there swimming. But we're not that brave. That'd be bloody freezing, although Loretta saying she will. We'll see on the way down how far we get in. And now it's uphill to the middle of the gap, so that's going to be a bit harder this bit. Anyway, you can see what I mean about the roads. You wouldn't want to bring your motorhome up here because you probably get stuck. A lot of cars come up, so there's a lot of passing of cars and stuff. Right guys, so we just got over the ridge behind us, which is the gap, we believe. We're going to look at the map. This is about 4 miles to get up to this point. And it took us about an hour, you said, didn't you? Half an hour. And you can see I'm still out of breath. It takes me 5 minutes to get my breath back. And I'm going to show you the route in a minute, because we're on the other side, and I'll show you the views. But that's a hell of a cycle challenge for us. But I'll show you what it looks like. Right, so this is the valley on the opposite side. We're not going to go down here because then we've got to come back up again, and I think we've done enough on the hills today. I'll just take you over the other side. Right, so that's the bit we've just come up. It's quite a weavy road, but it is quite hilly, but it's worth it for the views and the photos, and for me obviously you can go off walking, but this is the peak, this part. I'll show you a sign so you know when you're at the peak. So as soon as you come up here, you see that sign, welcome to the Black Valley, and that's the top part. Right, so we found out now this is the peak part of the Gap of Dunloe, which we're up in the moment. And when you get the other side, you go down into the Black Valley, and if you carry on going down that way, you'll end up at, where do you end up with?
Oh, we think you end up at the shop called Avoca.
Right, this one,
Cafe.
so that's one of the shops on the Ring of Kerry that we went to. And if you carry on further, you can get all the way down to Bantry, which we just seen some cyclists are going from here all the way to Bantry today to stay, which is quite a hard cycle ride. But look at these poor horses having to get all the way up the top of this hill and then back down the other side again and then turn around and back again. Alright guys, so we just got back down to Kearney's cottage area. Bit of an adventure coming down because I managed to come off my bike quite seriously. I think you've got to be careful of the halt muck that's on the road, and I think the front wheel locked up and I went over the handlebars. Luckily I didn't go down the side of the mountain, but I think I managed to damage my ribs, back and shoulder and everything, which ain't great. You can see behind me the car park now. It's extremely busy up in there. You wouldn't want to bring the van up this time of day. Earlier one now is queuing up the road trying to get in. So we'll show you a little bit around, have a wander around down to the other cottage and show you how busy it gets up there. So you can see all the way down the road people just parking up, and they're dumping the cars all over the place now. And there's a few people coming up with vans that couldn't get in as well. So worth getting up here early morning or late evening, they say. So you can see this is what the road normally looks like. Usually quite wide enough to get the van up, which we come up late last night, and our uncle went back home early morning before it got too busy. But you can see quite a busy place. So we just popped down to the other restaurant just behind me, where they let us sit and have a cup of tea. I thought I'd show you around the garden. This is Heather restaurant where you can buy tea, coffee and cakes and whatever. They do chips and some food. It looks like they're trying to make a garden out of it. They've got signs for all the plants. Right, hey guys, so we're just on our route back to over to Dublin area, or en route that way, across the other side of Ireland, and we have to go through Limerick. And en route, we're going to go through Adare, which is supposed to be one of the prettiest towns in Ireland, according to some of the things we've read. And we've managed to find a nice little parking space at the Heritage Centre, which we'll show you around. We'll show you the car park and the Heritage Centre. And if you don't get into here at the Heritage Centre, which I'll put a link, a tab on my website to where this is, you can go further up, and there's a Lidl's further up, so you should be able to park in there. Lots of restaurants and bars around here, So we're hoping to get something to eat, and most of them from reviews have all got 5 stars, so this will be quite interesting to have a look around. So this is the car park for the Heritage Centre. There's a quite big area over there, which is all free parking as well. It's Station Road, I believe, down there. So as you're coming down through Adare, you come to a roundabout and you just turn left or right, depending what way you're coming from. If you're coming up towards Limerick, you'll be doing a left-hand turn on that road, come up to this car park. And you see we parked in here. It's quite big enough spaces for the motorhomes. You can't overnight park here, so it's just a day parking. But we're going to have a little look around, also part of the history of this. Right guys, so we're just not far from coming off the main motorway to get to where we need to get to. So if you're going down the M7, either way, this is junction 12 we come off, we'll show you outside. So this is a junction between Newbridge and Kilcannon. It's a turn off on junction 12, and it's a great little spot to stop where you can stretch your legs, take the dog out. There's sheep there around, so you do need to have them on leads. But it's a good little stop off if you're coming this way up the M7. I'll just show you outside. So I thought I'd do the talking inside because I expect the wind might muffle everything out here. But you can see all this area is a walking area, so pretty good for cycling, walking. Like I say, stretch your legs if you've been running up and down that motorway. And you can see over there is the motorway sign. This is how close we are to the actual motorway. Nice little park spot there, so you have a cup of tea. Right, so this is actually called the Curragh, this area where we are, and it's a military training base, like I was saying, and there's apparently a museum. You reckon?
Yeah, it's a museum
up there, which is probably what we can see in the foreground. Probably see it right back there. We're probably driving down that way anyway to where we want to get to. You see it's a pretty good stopover, especially when you're driving from Limerick to Dublin. This is probably around about 2.5 to 3 hours drive you've done by the time you get to this bit. So it's quite a good stop, and it's just off, like I say, M7. Right, hello guys, we're back at the port now in Ireland, ready to go home. So it's the end of our holiday, and it's the end of our Irish vlogs. I just thought I'd do a little bit of an update of what we did over the last few days to get over here. We went down to Wexford. I didn't have my video camera with me at the time, so you'll have to see some of the pictures I took of the harbour. It's quite a nice harbour, Wexford. If you've got the time, it's worth popping in there. It's got lots of little shops and bars and restaurants, and you've got all the harbour area and that, which looks really pretty with the fishing vessels all in there. So we had a beer there. We was going to stay there for the night because there's a Tesco's Extra as you go in. You can park your van there and you are allowed to stay there overnight. We asked the managers there, they said it's fine, you can stay there overnight if you want. So we was going to. There's also a hotel we phoned up the road. I'm trying to think the name of it. Whitford Hotel. So we phoned them up as well, and they said we can stay there overnight if we're eating in, but they was full up. They didn't have any space for food places, so we couldn't stay there. But that's another place to know about. It's about 20-30 minute drive at max really to get to the harbour from there. So if you've got an early start, there's two quite good places to stay overnight before you come down to here. But we went further on towards where we are now at Rosslare, to a pub called Cushions, where we did stay last night. I got a photograph of the van there. We had dinner in there, which was really nice. The food is excellent in there. Quite busy place for locals as well, so we were lucky to get in there really with the van because there weren't many spaces. And last night only one other van turned up in the end, but it was a good night, and that's a 5-minute journey then straight down to the port here. So now we're sitting at the port. We get on here. That'll be the end of our Irish vlog. Hopefully you like it. Please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. And next week we're off to Swinwood, which is going to be really exciting. So any of you going over to Swinwood, we'll see you there.